Hi, this month's Daring Cooks Challenge is Moo Shu Pork. Our ingredients for this challenge, for the Moo Shu part, is 3 cups of Napa cabbage, ½ pound of pork sliced into matchsticks, 3/4 cups of bamboo shoots cut into strips, 2/3 cup of wood ear, also known as black fungus, 2 scallions cut into thin strips. Our flavorings are toasted sesame seed oil, a few drops, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of rice wine, 1 teaspoon of salt. Also, the dish includes 3 eggs, which we'll scramble and add to the dish. This is the wood ear, also known as dried black fungus. It comes dried. There's 2 forms, usually a small form, which is like this, or sometimes in the store you'll see bigger sheets or bigger wood ears. I like the thinner ones because they tend to be softer. Basically, to prep them, you just soak them in water and they'll expand quite a bit compared to what they originally were. And then after that, you just cut them into strips. Just make sure you remove any of the base that looks like it would be tough. This is Napa cabbage, also known as Chinese cabbage sometimes. This is the same type of cabbage that you usually use to make kimchi, or that's used to make kimchi. If you can't find Napa cabbage for the Kung Pao chicken, you could substitute regular cabbage. So one of the first steps of making the Moo Shu pork is I've taken the 3 eggs and scrambled and added some of the salt. And in the wok we have 1 teaspoon of oil, so we're basically going to scramble the eggs real quick. And then we'll just remove it when we're done and put it on the side. So this is just basically scrambling eggs. Now that the eggs have been done, or scrambled soft, I'm going to wipe out the pan, add some oil, and start cooking the pork. So add about 2 tablespoons of oil. Let it come up to temperature. Swirl the oil around. Nice hot pan. Start stir frying the pork. We'll make sure the pork has no more pink, and we'll add the rest of the vegetables. Okay, the pork has lost some of its pink color. Now I'm just going to add the rest of the vegetables and stir fry it in. The Napa cabbage and bamboo shoots. The wood ear mushrooms and green onions. And just stir it in and let it cook for a few minutes. Alright, the vegetables have cooked about 2 minutes and are starting to wilt down, so I'll add the rest of the seasonings. I'm going to add salt. I'll add probably half of the teaspoon of salt just before I start adding the rest. Add the soy sauce and rice vinegar or rice wine. And just let that cook off and evaporate a bit. Okay, after a couple more minutes, most of the liquid has evaporated. I'm going to add the eggs back in and a few drops of sesame seed oil to add a little extra flavor. And just break up the eggs and mix everything together. And the Moo Shu Pork is done. So for this challenge, we're making pancakes for the Moo Shu. We start off with 2 cups of flour, then 3/4 cup of boiling water. Oops, that's hot. And to that, we're going to add half a teaspoon of vegetable oil. And we'll just pour that into the flour mixture. And stir. Alright, I've used a spatula to mix everything together. Try to incorporate as much water as possible. Next, I'll just turn this out and knead into a soft dough or a ball. Hopefully it'll incorporate all of the crumbs. Okay, the dough has been kneaded for about 5 minutes. It's soft and nice and smooth, so I know I'm done. So what next step is to wrap and let rest for 30 minutes. Okay, the dough's rested for about 30 minutes, and I've unwrapped it, and I'm gonna add a little flour and knead for a second kneading, about 6 to 8 minutes. So I'll be back. Alright, the dough was kneaded for another about 5 to 6 minutes, and I covered and wrapped, let it rest for about 10 minutes. Afterwards, I broke up into about 12 golf ball, ping pong ball size dough balls. Next, I'll roll out the pancakes. There's a couple ways to do it. First, you could just take one and put a little flour and just pat out and roll out with a rolling pin to about 6 inches in diameter. Okay, the trick to rolling is just to roll out and then just rotate the dough about 90 degrees and just continue rolling. You'll try to get it real thin. Also, you could treat this like a pizza and use your hand and just stretch out, the dough ball. And if it tears, just mend it and just roll out again. Okay, I don't know how thin is thin, but this is pretty thin, and you're also able to see the lines through the dough. And I'll go cook them, but first I'll show another way of rolling these dough balls. Another thing you could do when rolling out the dough balls is just to roll 2 out. This is roughly 3 inches in diameter, and what you could do is take some toasted sesame seed oil and paint the tops of both of them and then join, and now you could roll both out together, so you're doing 2 at once. Alright, this is the 2 pancake back-to-back brush with sesame seed oil. It seems like I'm able to get them thinner by doing this. I don't know if it's a sesame seed oil that's helping to form the pancakes versus doing them one at a time. I'm going to cook them up and see which comes out better. Alright, the pancakes are cooked on a hot, medium-high heat griddle that's unoiled. It's non-stick. As it's cooking, you could feel the bubbles puffing up. It's almost like a flour tortilla. This is the double pancake. Let's see how that cooks up. This is the one that has sesame seed oil sandwiched in between. It's puffing up. I flipped it over. You could see the steam. I don't know if you can, but there's steam escaping from the sides. So it should be almost done. Typically, hoisin sauce is used as a condiment in Moo Shu Pork, but for this challenge we're given our own recipe, or given a recipe to make hoisin sauce or some type of sauce. It uses 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 1 tablespoon of honey, 2 teaspoons of white vinegar, 1/8 a teaspoon of garlic powder, and 2 teaspoons of sesame seed oil, toasted sesame seed oil, and 4 tablespoons or 1/4 cup of soy sauce. And I'll grind in a little black pepper, but now just mix everything together to form a sauce. Here's the finished hoisin sauce, or Moo Shu Pork. It's pretty wet, and I had to microwave it a little bit, about 15 seconds, to get the peanut butter to melt. Now it's time to assemble the Moo Shu Pork. Okay, now that we've finished making our Moo Shu Pork, and we have our pancakes and hoisin sauce, or Moo Shu Pork sauce, here's how we put it together. First, you put a little sauce on the bottom of the pancake. Then add a spoonful of filling, probably a tablespoon or 2, and you wrap it like a burrito. Flip one side up, one side over, and roll. And there you go, a Moo Shu Pork.